Welcome back, everybody. It is time to reveal my Necromancer Poison Scythe GR pushing build. This is the absolute hands down 100% best GR pushing build for the Necromancer. It's killing the leaderboards. Not as overpowered as Demon Hunters at the moment, but as far as Necros go, this is definitely the best build if you want to push those high-end greater rifts. We're going to get right into this. Look how awesome my Necromancer looks. I love him. He looks like Victorian Gothic, evilish. Just looks incredible. I actually forgot to transmogrify my pants back, but those look pretty awesome there anyway. A bit of blue with all the black. Anyhow, let's get straight into the gear first. And there are some variations that you can go with gear and skills. I'll try and cover them off, but as always, feel free to experiment and just test out what suits your playstyle best. So obviously, this is a Legacy of Dreams build, so you want the Legacy of Dreams gem equipped. And with this gem, damage and damage reduction is multiplied with every legendary item we have, providing that we don't have any set item bonuses. You can have set items equipped, but you can't be benefiting from any bonuses. The actual multipliers or the increases are doubled if the legendary items are ancient or primal ancient. Unfortunately, primal ancient is classified the same as an ancient, so you don't get any additional damage if it's a primal. It's classified as an ancient. Either way, we're going places if we've got all ancients and all primals. I've definitely got all ancients. We're using Andariel's Visage here in the helm. A lot of players I've noticed are using Leoric's Crown. You can definitely get a primal or an ancient Leoric's Crown that will increase the effectiveness of the gem that you have equipped. But I like Andariel's because you get poison damage. And this one here has rolled with maximum poison damage, which is 20%. And we've got intelligence, vitality, and attack speed. So it's basically rolled perfect, and I didn't even have to enchant the item to try and get a socket, because the socket we use is a life gem, and with the life gem I'm just going to be taking out vitality anyway, so it's much of a muchness there. So it's up to you, Leoric's Crown or Andariel's. I prefer Andariel's. You want to definitely have Haunted Visions equipped here for your simulacrums. The shoulders we're using are Razeth's Volition. I'm using Aquila Cuirass here for the chest piece. Now, braces, again, are optional. You can use Ancient Path and Defenders or Nemesis braces. If you're pushing higher GRs, I definitely like Nemesis braces because every time we activate a pylon, we get an elite spawning as well, which allows us to progress further and save time. And believe me, you shouldn't be taking too much damage and actually require Ancient Path and Defenders. It's a very tanky build. You should be surviving, but up to you. You can definitely, if you are dying for whatever reason, if you're missing items, you can throw in Ancient Path and Defenders for extra damage reduction. I prefer Nemesis braces. Definitely try and roll poison damage on your braces as well. The belt, Dainty's Binding, definitely we get damage reduction from this belt. Now, Stone Gauntlets is very, very handy. This is amazing damage reduction, but as you can see there, the legendary stat, getting hit increases your armor by 50%, but reduces your movement speed by 15% and attack speed by 20%. This effect stacks up to 5 times. So if this stacks up to 5 times, you're going to be moving so slow, you're not going to actually be able to attack anything. You cannot attack. You're going to be immobilized completely, but you have to throw in Ice Climbers because this allows you to be immune to any immobilizing and freezing effects. So we benefit from the stacks and also the damage reduction and increasing our armor. But we also can run freely because we're completely immune to immobilizing. So these go hand in hand. They're very, very important. And this is probably why we can actually make some sacrifices with damage reduction, such as Ancient Path and Defenders, because we've got so much going on here already. We've got the belt, we've got this glove pants combination, and we've also got Aquila Cuirass. So lots of damage reduction happening here. And the shoulders, of course. So because we gained the Gift of Death and Singularity runes for our Skeletal Mages, so that's also damage reduction. And we've got Unity equipped here, looking at the rings. So Unity, again, more damage reduction, and I've also got Crisp and Sentence, very important. So 2 rings, Unity, Crisp and Sentence. Convention of Elements can also be equipped, but I've got that in Canai's Cube, so that way we're maxed out at 200 additional % damage from Convention of Elements. If you roll an Ancient, or even better, Primal Ancient Convention of Elements, you'll probably want to equip it, because especially if it's maxed out at 200%, which a Primal will be, but an Ancient may not. So if you're not like 190% plus damage for Convention of Elements, you probably want to whack it into your Canai's Cube. That way, it's guaranteed to increase your damage by 200%. These babies are optional as well. Swampland Waders, Waters, however you want to pronounce it. I like these because we get that poison damage again. You can roll up to 20% poison damage. These babies rolled with 15. They're ancient, and also you get Grim Scythe damage, as you can see I enchanted there for 15%. So we got 30% increased damage here because we got the poison and Grim Scythe, whereas if you have, let's say, the Golem or the Depth Diggers, which I have equipped in Canai's Cube at the moment, you're not gonna get poison damage from them. Now, I have to mention with Swampland Waders, Waters, you have to you have to start a new Witch Doctor character as an alt character or whatever, level 1. You can make a level 1 character. What you want to do is craft rare pants and upgrade them to legendary on your Witch Doctor. You can be level 1, doesn't matter, and then it gives you a chance to roll these babies. Once you get these, even if they're not ancient, it's fine. You can use them just to reforge legendary until they become ancient, but you have to be a Witch Doctor to get these. Much like the Stone Gauntlets I should have mentioned, you're better off making a Barbarian or a Crusader level 1, making a bunch of rare gloves and upgrading them to ancient. That's how you get the gloves as well. Don't try and get these on your Necromancer because it'll take forever. I have had 2 pairs drop this season, but I'm over 1,000 Paragon levels, and when I needed them, they were impossible. They're very, very rare to drop on the Necro, but they're very, very common for Barbarians and for Crusaders. I used the Barbarian to roll these. It didn't take long at all. I think out of 8 to 10 rare gloves, they upgraded to Ancient Stone Gauntlets rather quickly. I think it was 8 or 10. I can't remember how many I crafted, but I definitely only crafted 1 lot, and before I even upgraded all of them to legendary, these babies were created. Alright, so up to you what you want to use here. Again, with these golem skin breaches, it's going to definitely change some of the skills we're using, but this again will increase damage reduction and also multiplies our damage because it's another poison skill that we use with golem, but we'll get into that once we get into the skills side of things in a second. We'll keep going with gear. The weapon, we're using Tragul's Corroded Fang and Liege's Disdain here in the offhand. Canai's Cube is going to make a lot of sense here. So what we're using here is the Nair's Black Death. Super important. Each different poison skill we use, we're using 5, increases your poison skill damage by 100% for 15 seconds. Now this multiplies. That's why we have 5 different poison skills we're using. And once we use all 5, we're benefiting from Nair's Black Death, and we're actually dishing out 500% increased damage. Very, very important item there. Depth Diggers, like I mentioned in Canai's Cube. Again, you can swap these out and have the Golem Skin Breaches in there, but that's just going to change some of the skills that we're using, which I'm going to get to next. And like I mentioned, Convention of Elements there, increasing poison skills damage by 200%. Once our Convention of Elements down here ticks over to poison, you're going to notice a big jump in damage. Let's just wait. Once it goes green, bing, 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 this is when you want to definitely be dishing out damage and Grim Scything whatever is in sight. Let's go over to skills. So we're using Grim Scythe with Cursed Scythe. This is our primary damage dealer. I'm using Death Nova with Blight. If you go for the Golem Skin Pants, you're going to want to definitely have your Command Golem here with Decay Golem, and this increases your damage reduction and also increases our damage because it stacks with Nair's Death. So every time that we consume corpses with our Golem, that will trigger poison damage. So we want to make sure that we're at 5 stacks with Nair's Black Death there, so that we're dishing out 500% increased damage. But I find if I've got all my other gear and everything's ancient at least, then I'm surviving easy enough and damage reduction is high enough that I just like to I prefer to use Death Nova with Blight, which also, well, it kind of is damage reduction. It slows enemies and slows their attack speed, so they're doing less damage to us, like less often, pretty much. So it still works that way, and it's an easier way to proc that poison damage that we need from Nair's Scythe. So Skeletal Mage we're using with Contamination. Again, we're making sure that everything's poison damage. Command Skeletons with Kill Command, again poison damage. Simulacrum with Blood and Bone, so we get an additional Simulacrum. So there's going to be 2 Simulacrums also that are going to be mimicking us and doing Grim Scythe, so it's going to be pretty much triple damage. You got 3 of us doing Grim Scything. Bone Armor with Dislocation, again poison skill, so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 poison skills, and we get that 500% damage increase. For our passives, we're using Spreading Malediction, Rigor Mortis, Standalone, and Swift Harvesting. That is the build. I did forget to mention some of the gems that we're using. So I'm using Topaz gems for our chest piece and our pants. Obviously Legacy of Dreams, like I mentioned at the start, this is a maximum rank of 99, so level it up, rank it up to 99 by doing greater rift pushing. I'm using Bane of the Stricken and also Simplicity's Strength here in the ring slots, and obviously an Emerald critical hit damage increase gem in our main hand weapon. I think that pretty much covers everything. Just remember how you need to get the Stone Gauntlets and the Swampland Waters here if you really want them. Well, the gloves you definitely want. The Swamplands, you can also just sub them out for the Golem Skin breaches, especially early on. These are quite handy. They give you extra damage reduction, and it also just serves as to proc the Nair's death just by using poison damage. So it'll work anyway. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't, the Death Nova here doesn't make that much of a difference. There's really not much of a difference at all, except with this one. This is a lot quicker Death Nova, a lot easier to activate, just like that. Whereas if you have Golem activated, then there is a cooldown on your Golem, and obviously you have to wait for that to be off cooldown. And also, we don't benefit from the poison damage that we see here in Swampland. That's pretty much it. I'm trying not to babble too much, but when it comes to build guides, I try and explain everything to people. If you have any questions, any further questions, hit me up in the comments below and I'll definitely help you. Let's quickly have a look at some gameplay and I'll show you how this works. GR 100s are just so easy. It's just farming level, even under farming level for me. Like I farm 105 and 110s this season just to level up my Paragons and try and farm gear. So let's jump into a Rift 100 and I'll show you all how the gameplay works. So this isn't the best Rift that we've gotten into, but this is when you come across an elite, just make sure you activate your Simulacrums at the start. Don't be like me, I forget a lot of the time, but you will notice that you're not doing as much damage. So you'll notice rather quickly Simulacrums aren't active. Activate them and you'll notice your damage goes up. Other than that, make sure you use all your poison abilities so you get those 5 stacks of Nair's death. And coming up to this pylon here, this is where you see Nemesis Braces come into effect because an elite was nearby and we got that extra elite because we clicked on the pylon from Nemesis Braces. So you've got the pylon effect plus an elite that was nearby plus the additional elite. So we're killing it. As far as time goes, we're killing it. So unfortunately, in this current example, we've got the pylon effect active, the conduit. So obviously that's going to be doing some extra damage. But, it is a game mechanic. It's a game effect. And now it's off. So now you can see legit damage that we're doing. And we'll finish off the Rift quite easily anyway. So you're going to see, even without pylons, we're killing it. And this is GR 100. So just fast forwarding here to the next floor. You've also got the seasonal effects that procs every now and then, every 90 seconds, but it's absolute rubbish this season. The effect, it doesn't really do much, to be honest. Yeah, it gives you a bit of a boost, but Blizzard did say they were going to make changes to it. All they've changed is I think it doesn't proc in set dungeons. I don't think it procs any more often. I don't think it has a damage increase or anything. So right now, this is just us doing damage. This is no pylon that's active or anything like that. This is just slicing and dicing, baby. And it is good because with the simulacrums, we've got 2 simulacrums. They mimic us. Whenever we're grim scything, they grim scythe as well. As you can see them there beside me. So the mobs, enemies, elites, whatever, are taking damage from 3 grim scythe sources. And here we go, another pylon. Again, unfortunately, we're going to be doing some extra damage here. But at least you see the effect of the Nemesis braces as well. And we are just trying to speed through here. You guys get the idea. There's pylons in rifts. It's doing a lot of damage, you know, without pylons. I wouldn't lie to you all. You know, this is 100%. I'm sharing my absolute secret build here. All of my secrets. I've even explained some of the substitute items that you can try. They all work well. It doesn't really matter which pants you go with, whether it's the golem skin, depth diggers. You can mix and match Canai's cube plus your equipped items. Definitely want to equip an ancient. Again, legendary ancients double the damage that you get from the Legacy of Dreams gem. So you definitely want to, if you roll an ancient, whatever you roll an ancient, whichever pair of pants you roll ancient first, equip them. Equip those babies. So same goes with the Rift Guardian. Just make sure that you use your poison abilities, all 5 of them. Keep using them. You've got 15 seconds to reactivate them, to reuse them. And then just keep slicing and dicing away. And it's so tanky, like Rift Guardians. You just stand there, just using your Grim Scythe. He's not going to kill you majority of the time. I haven't had an issue with the Rift Guardian. The only issue you get with the Rift Guardian is at really high GR levels, it just takes a lot of time to kill them. That is it. Enjoy this amazing Poison Scythe build for the Necromancer class, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time, this is your creepy uncle out of here. Don't forget to subscribe to show your support. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up. And most importantly, come back and visit the creepy one.